Hello guys, I came up with another video regarding an useReducer. So there is a difference between the we have already state management, use state, and why you need to use it in useReducer. We have an already existing in useState, right? An alternative of useState accepts the reducer of very complex type. If you have any complex type, we are going to use it the useReducer. Suppose for example, uh, accepts the reducer type state and action new state and returns the current state and paid with the dispatch method. If you are familiar with the Redux and you already know how this works, like in I will go to give in few videos as well regarding in Redux in if you are watching in my videos in next few videos, and I will go to make it in Redux as well. So if you don't know the Redux also, no problem, just follow it and what I am going to be explain. useReducer is usually preferable to useState when you have complex state logic that involves multiple sub-values or when the next state depends on the previous one. useReducer also lets you optimize performance for components. So let me give an example guys, and then you can understand why we need to use the useReducer, and let me explain in three reasons to useReducer over the useState. useReducer is a method from the React hooks API, is similar to useState but gives you more control of manage the state. It takes a reducer function and initial state as arguments and returns the state and dispatch method. This is the syntax how to declare in the constant dispatch and useReducer and Redux function initial state initial function. A reducer being called because of the function type, and you would pass to an array method dot in reduce and reduce method. If you familiar with the reduce in the JavaScript, so just in reduce it will go to be reduce in only one single value, left to right, that is the reduce. So is the pattern taken the Redux, same pattern it will take in the Redux. If you are not familiar with Redux, in short, reducer is a few function that takes previous state and action as an argument and returns the next state. Previous state action, new state. Actions are a piece of information that describes what happened, and based on the information, the reducer specifies how the state should change. Actions are passed through the dispatch action in a method. Okay, I will give an example guys, then you can understand very clearly what happened. Most of the time you are well covered with the useState method, which is built to the top of the useReducer, but there are cases when useReducer is preferable. Next state depends on the previous. It is always better to use this method when the state depends on the previous one. It will give you more predictable state transition. The conclusion, useReducer is the alternative to useState, which gives you more control over the state management and can make testing easier. All the cases be done use state method. So in conclusion, use the method that you are comfortable with and it is easier to understand for you and your colleagues. So useState, you can keep in mind, useState we are going to use for the simple types. Use reducer you want to be complex types. Suppose for example string and number and small like in types and parameters for the use state. If you are coming for the useReducer, you can use the big data like in objects, array, and API callings, and so many things you are calling the useReducer. So as of my knowledge, most of the companies using, if you are having very complex or complexity in, even if you are coming in, even Redux team React team is introduced the useReducers. Now there are so many companies are big companies like Netflix and so many companies they are using, like in Google or some like in other companies they are using in only like in Redux only, not the useReducer, I hope. So currently I'm using in Redux only, not the useReducer in my project. So as of my knowledge is the Redux is more important than the useReducer. So however I'm going to be explained for your understanding. We'll see you in next video. We'll continuation. Bye guys.